Hello, good afternoon. This is Philip. I'm coming to you on Wednesday, April 12th, with the encouraging word. I have some words for you today about relationships and friendships and the value of them. The verse of scripture that we'll use today is a memorable one from Solomon's Song, or the Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 15. It's just a few words, but it means so much. Take us the foxes, the little foxes that spoil the vines, for our vines have tender grapes. So Solomon is telling us that it's not the big foxes that destroy the vines and damage the grapes. It is the little foxes. What he's saying here is, in that time, even today in parts of Europe, that fields are separated by hedgerows, which are thick, natural fences that actually prohibit large animals from going from one field to the other. And large foxes cannot get through the vines and the thorns that make up the hedgerows, but the little ones can. So when you're watching your fences, when you're watching the value of friendship, you must always look out for the little things in life. Friendships are valued or gauged, or let's use the word value. The value that we place on friendships should not be focused on gifts. It's not the dinners. It is not the diamonds. It is not the roses that we give to the women in our lives, to my wife, to my sisters. It is not that counts. It is not the things that our wives do for us, our girlfriends do for us, if you're not married, that really count in life. It is the little things in life. It's the little things in life that make a relationship. And of course, it's the little things in life that can destroy that relationship. Promises to do things for one another, to help one another, are those intangible little things in life. It's normal for us to make promises to our friends and family and others. We'll contact you, we'll do this, we'll do these things. And in the meantime, life occurs, and we forget to follow up with the very words at the time we said them, what they actually meant. We don't do the things that we plan to do. While relationships can end on big tragedies, cheating on your spouse, lying, getting fired from your job, being lazy, usually it's been my experience practicing law for 35 years that when people complain of a collapsing marriage, it's not any one major event. It begins with a lack of communications, and ultimately each spouse does their best to describe a loss of love. They disconnect from one another. These are the things that constitute or make up the little things in life. It's interesting to me that the example that Solomon uses here is our vines, foxes, and grapes. And different versions of Solomon's use different words, but you get the picture here. The picture is that there is a vine that has taken some time to grow, and it's full of tender grapes. It's ready to be plucked. They are mature. And this is the time when the little foxes get through. They're not going to come The little things in life are not going to challenge you when you could not be tempted by them. The little things in life will come at you when you are subject or prone to being tempted by them. If you're a winemaker or a wine husbandman, as sometimes they're called, a wine farmer, a grape farmer, own a vineyard, you know that it takes 3 to 5 years from the time you plant a little seedling or a piece of a vine, and it takes about 5 years to grow until the point where it's actually putting out grapes. So you've invested. This is if it's analogous to a relationship, this is a time when you are developing a friendship with someone. And I say friendship and relationships here, I'm not necessarily always referring to male, female. I'm talking about friendships as well. How much do you value a friendship? What is it worth to you? What are you willing to sell it out for? It takes many years to develop that. And this is what you've got to understand. When you violate the confidences and the trust in a relationship, I know from a man's viewpoint, the first thing you want to do is try and fix it. You want to try and remedy the issue by taking her out to dinner or sending her roses, apologizing, trying to be overwhelmingly gracious and loving and kind. And I believe that women get nauseated when they see a man doing this. It actually shows the weakness of a man and not his strengths. When he's trying to rectify his errors by buying something for someone, for them. The relationship did not begin that way. The relationship began on the simple things in life: returning phone calls, taking long walks, talking on the phone long hours at night, writing letters. And if you blow that, if you blow the confidence, it can't be fixed right away. Sometimes you have to start over again from the perspective that it may take a long time to regain that person's trust in you again. So back to the vineyard, it takes 5 years, up to 5 years, for a little seedling to grow to the point where it begins producing grapes. During that time, the grapes grow. They go through different phases, and ultimately they become full and plump. If they're white, they go from dark green to golden green. And finally, these grapes are ready to be plucked. If you don't take care of the vines during the 5-year period, you never get to the point to where you have grapes. If you take care of the vines during that 5-year period in the first year of production where they're going to produce grapes, and you don't take care of them then you lose the grapes for that year. That's a short-term loss for a person who owns the vineyard. They have to wait a full year. If during the 5-year period you don't take care of the vines and you lose the vine, you have to start over again. That's a 5-year delay. So you see my point? Friendships and relationships are so valuable. You will soon realize it is the most valuable thing that you possess. There is no car or jewelry or bank account or house or money or gold or silver that is ever worth more than a relationship itself. Please take the time and watch for the little foxes in life. It's the little things that screw up the relationship. It's the little things that destroy marriages. It's the little things that hurt others. And the 1800s, a French emperor came to conquer the world. His name was Napoleon Bonaparte. And in the early 1800s, he began wars all over Europe and was doing a pretty good job of conquering just about anybody he wanted to. He took on fighting Russia, and he had superior soldiers to that of Russia, but Russia lured him into the country. They kept retreating further and further. The temperature got colder and colder, and in the winter, Napoleon army failed, and they had to turn around and retreat, and they lost, and virtually 2/3 of the men that went into the battle died. And you know why? It was because of this little piece of bread. Although he had superior soldiers, he forgot about the little things. His soldiers were dying of starvation. He forgot that as you go further into another country, the supply lines are longer and things fall apart. So he forgot about the bread. He lost the war because of the bread. So the things that I want to just remind you of is that watch for the little foxes, for they are the ones that spoil the vines. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, in a way, we don't have to worry about the big things because they're going to come anyway. The disasters that we create in our lives are going to emanate from our disobedience and behavior. But somehow or another, I think we get through those. It's the little things in life. When we stop talking and loving and caring and giving to others, those are the little things that destroy the vines and destroy the grapes. So remember that. God bless you all. Bye.